Work schedules was on there because that's where I thought Mr. Robinson was going to speak about. So actually, we've already discussed that because he wants us to come up with possible suggestions on ways to decrease the payroll, and that was actually on the agenda as work schedules. So we've kind of already discussed that.
Okay. No other comments?
I do have a question.
Okay.
On the minutes from the last meeting, the amendment of the bylaws, removal of director. You care to relate to me what that situation was?
The question arose about ethics.
Okay.
And what would constitute an ethical violation that would need to be reported to remove an officer.
Okay.
And our attorney was present to advise us on that. But it wasn't anything like the public has supposed, that we felt that we had the power and authority to appoint or remove. We knew anything that we did was to be a suggestion to the county commission because you have the authority to do that. But our question was, what would fall under those ethical issues? And you know as well as I do, we have a real problem with ethics, especially in our military. But
so all of the members of the board are in compliance with the requirements.
as far as we know, are there requirements that you're aware of that you think we're in violation of?
I think, now I'd have to double check, but I think you're supposed to be a resident of Dottage County.
Now, that was one of the things that we had early on asked our attorney when we were forming, because Dr. Newman was on our board then, and our attorney advised us that that was not a requirement. It is often the case, but as far as he advised us, that is not a requirement. If you find otherwise, you can let us know.
Okay. Of course, that brings up another question about why you would have an outside attorney.
Because Brooke Fitzgerald has told us that she cannot represent us because we do have this pseudo-independence, and she couldn't advise both the commission and our agency, as the park would be, or the solid waste authority, or any of those sub-agencies. If there was an issue they had against the commission, Brooke could not represent both parties. And she told me that, she won't talk to me. I have sought her multiple times, and she won't.
JT Hunt's supposed to be an expert in this field.
If Brooke says that that's the case, then I know once again from the park board, but I understand it's a situation that you all felt was different, but
No, the county commission felt we were different when they...
We kind of inherited JT from the commission. JT was
hired by the commission to address issues involving emergency services, and
right.
We kind of inherited him as a result of that.
okay.
Because those issues were specific. At that time, Lou Salmons was the prosecutor and didn't feel comfortable dealing with the specifics of that that's how JT came into the commission in regards to those.
That's, I was asked for an explanation, and you provided it.
We'll do our best. Thank you.
It's hard to get reelected prosecutor if you.
Starting this new year, Randy's gonna have an article, and Randy send that to both newspapers, because they print it, they don't. Our weekly activities, how many runs we make, whether they used treatment or how many assists we made, and this and that and other thing. I just wanna say this, and then I'm not gonna say anything else. The general public out there, and I say this with all sincerity, they need to know what's going on inside this building right here. If they know what's going on in this building, there'll be a lot of minds changed out there in the county. But I'm not gonna sit here on this board and fight the general public. I'm gonna do what's best for the citizens of Douglas County, the Douglas County Ambulance Authority, and I'm gonna do my very best to carry that through. So with that said,
I move with you.
second. Sure.